Hey everybody, we are here with our first grade teachers. We're going to just take a few minutes to go over some things since we're not getting to have meet the teacher, and we thought we would just do it very informally. I'm Miss Evans. I'm one of the first grade teachers. We're very excited about this year, but nervous too. I have 3 children of my own. All of my children will be here. I have 2 that'll be in 9th grade and a daughter that's going to be in 6th grade.
I'm Barbara Roy. I have a son that's going to be a senior and a daughter that's going to be a sophomore that will be attending school.
I'm Miss Hallmark, Elizabeth Hallmark, and I'm so excited to meet you. And also, I attended this wonderful school, kindergarten through 12th grade, and now I'm going into my 3rd year of teaching 1st grade here.
Hi everyone, I'm Ms. Haynes. This is my 19th year of teaching. Love Locust Fork. I have 4 girls and I just became a grandmother, so that is the most exciting thing in my life right now. I'm really looking forward to this year. I know it's going to be different, but we're going to get through it together.
I'm Belinda McKay. I'm the ring coach. I do not teach 1st grade, but I spend a lot of time with 1st grade, so I might as well say I teach 1st grade. Always been here, love the fort, proud to be a Hornet. All right, we're going to start with the Remind 101 app. We want to make sure that all parents sign up for the Remind. It's very important. That has been a lifesaver through all of this. When we have things that happen during the school day that need to change, we can just shoot out a Remind. Each teacher has their own Remind. Locust Fork Elementary School has their own Remind, and the lunchroom has their own Remind. So you will need to sign up for all 3. But it's very important. We've had days where we were going to dismiss early. We could just shoot out that Remind. They send their homework assignments, changing plans, anything like that. It's very convenient on the Remind. Ms. Hallmark, do you want to talk about the meal pay?
Okay, so I am going to now discuss the meal pay information for you guys. You can register and keep track of your child's lunch account through this, and it's very important for you guys to do this. It'll be much easier for you because you will not have to worry about sending money back and forth with your child every single time. You will have a yellow sheet in your folders that will give you more information about this meal pay information. Deposits can be made online or by sending it to the school or to the teacher. Any money sent with children to the school needs to be labeled and in an envelope or a baggie. That's very important. So that way we as teachers or anywhere it's going, we know what that money is for. Because a lot of times the kids will forget. They're like, oh, this is for snack, or it's important for us to know what this money is for. So make sure it is labeled and it is in an envelope or a baggie. It helps us know where that money's going, for example, for book fare, snack, etc.
I know the meal pay has been really helpful for me and with my kids because they don't always tell me when they need lunch money, but I can click on there and I know you cannot just, it's also if there's other things that you're paying for through the school, Miss Stephanie, our bookkeeper, a lot of times will set that up so you don't have to worry about. And if you're like me, whether the money's getting there or your kids dropped it on the bus or coming into the building, you can just put it in there and know where it's going. That's been a lifesaver for me personally with my own children.
Ms. Haynes, you want to talk a little bit about absences?
Yes, well, as of now, and you know this could change, Blount County's attendance policy is that your child cannot miss more than 7 days within a semester or 14 days within a year. Those 7 days can be parent or doctor's excuses. If your child is out, please send a note or a doctor's excuse within 3 days with their name and the teacher's name. The handbooks have all the policies on attendance, or you can review that on our website. If your child has a chronic medical condition that may require he or she to miss school, you must provide us with that medical condition letter from your child's physician that states your child's condition, and provide a statement in the letter that states due to his medical condition of whatever it is. This child may miss school from time to time or may have to miss school for appointments. Of course, the most important thing to know is that your child will be learning to read and write this year. Every day is very important that they be here because the instruction that they receive from us is price, you know, they can't do without it. We have small group lessons that are targeted to what they are deficient in, and it's very, very important that they're here, especially first thing in the morning, because that is when we do our small group intervention with them.
All right, Miss Roy wants to talk to us about water bottles.
Alright, our water fountains are gonna be closed this year, and so, we'd like for all the children to have a water bottle. We're asking for a snap down lid. There's also some thermoses with a straw, it snaps down and pops back up, those would be great. These will be allowed, they'll keep them at their table. Do not put water in them, I mean, not water. Please put water in them. Do not put ice in them, because the ice, it sweats and it gets all over their work, so no ice, and just plain water, because there's going to be accidents, there's going to be spills, and if it has tea in it or things, it gets really sticky on the table and the floor, so just plain water. We will try to get them to empty their water bottle in the afternoon, but please do not put water bottles in their backpack with their communication binder, because they'll end up getting wet. These type of water bottles, we do not want. So in my classroom, these will have to set out in the hall. And then when they need water, they'll go outside to get water, because these cause a huge mess when they get knocked off the table. So I would buy multiple water bottles, because they need to take them home and wash them every afternoon. And please put their name on the water bottle, so we know who it belongs to.
All right, and a hot topic, Miss Evans is going to talk to us about masks.
The elephant in the room. Okay, so we are going on as best as we know, and I'm sure as a parent, you're very concerned. Just yesterday, Governor Ivey made the announcement that all students in 2nd grade through 12th, but Blount County was way ahead of that, and our county had already decided that if students were within 6 feet from each other, that they had to wear the mask. We will try as much as possible in the room to keep them, you know, let them have their distance. And in 1st grade, kindergarten, we know we allow them to sit different places around the room. They're not always just sitting at a table, but they, in the hallways, in the restrooms, when they come to groups, we work a lot of one-on-one with the students, so to protect your child and us as well, and other students. They're going to be wearing a mask a lot. So what we ask is that any kind of lanyard, I know if you're like me, that you have lots of these laying around that you've gotten, probably, this one says BSN Sports, just as freebies. If not, Dollar Tree has these, but this makes it easier for the kids to have their mask hanging on, so if they're sitting at their desk and they don't need their mask, it's not laying around, it's not in the floor, it doesn't fall in the toilet. That's my worst fear.
Yes.
They're not swapping masks, they don't have to argue over whose is whose, and then when they get ready to put it on, it's just right here. I know I've noticed with a lot of the smaller faces, they're falling off some, so if it falls off, it's still on the lanyard, and they don't. And we're gonna, I promise, make these as positive as possible. I know a lot of people are really, really concerned about the mask, and the kids are never gonna be able to wear them, but our kids, we have found we can make positive out of negative. You know, if we make these for the lower grades especially, like, these are so cool. Did y'all know it doesn't matter if your breath stinks, nobody knows that they're in these, you know? I mean, however you make them, these are our secret hero mask. Whatever we make out of them, we feel that the kids are gonna see them, you know, these are special, things like that. If they ride a bus, they will be required to wear these. And I don't want to make it sound negative, but if they won't keep their mask on, they're not going to allow them to ride the bus. So you might want to talk to your kids about that. I hate wearing a mask, and I know that probably, I mean, I can't, you know, so we'll have times they can pull them down. When we're in the hallways, they're going to wear them. but it's not like detrimental that they wear these masks like some people are making this out to be. One thing that I've tried with my own children is to really start wearing them at home. We've tried different masks to see what is comfortable and what's going to be the most comfortable for them. For our first grade kiddos, we need them to see that the teachers, and they echo some, so I'm going to hold it up, but the teachers are going to be wearing these some when we're at the table. Okay, so that's not
Because they need to see our
scary.
face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they need to see our lips. I don't want my children seeing this nonstop all the time. We do a lot of phonemic awareness, so they need to see how the sounds are formed, practice that. So we may be wearing some of these. I know that I've heard some parents say that they're getting some of the kid masks, something like that, because their kid doesn't like to wear these. That would be, any kind of a shield or a mask would be acceptable. Is there anything else y'all can think of?
Well, I was really impressed with the students this year at our reading camp. They did a fabulous job with their masks. The first day was a little bit of trouble. It was a little bit of an issue, but after that, whenever I said, okay, we're gonna do small group, they put their mask on, and then if we got our wiggles out at the table, on the rug, or on the table, they put their mask on.
We have a lot of fun in first
Yeah,
grade.
Yes, we do. We do.
So, I was very happy about how well they were able to keep up with their mask.
So we do
So it can
ask
be
that
done.
you get some type of a lanyard. It doesn't have to be anything special. Like I said, Dollar Tree, something you have laying around. These were some that I had in my desk that were freebies from somewhere else. If you get that will help them, especially if they ride the bus or when we're standing outside at car riders or anything. Hopefully you won't have to worry. I know my own children are 14. We've lost like 4 of these already. So, when we go out somewhere, that's what they're
That's what I was gonna say. They might want to put names on it just in case.
Good idea. On your mask somewhere.
Yes.
Well, all right. Miss Hallmark is going to talk about the daily binder.
Okay, and the daily binders are something that's very, very important to us. It will have their name right here or whatever. There's us teachers, we all do something different. Okay, the binders need to be checked and signed daily, because they are used daily. You have a few things each teacher. We try to have the same things in each binder for each teacher. You will have this little pouch here, and this pouch is very important. You can put your money and notes in here. But remember, if you put any notes not notes, but if you put any money or notes, make sure it is labeled. Make sure it's in an envelope, it's in a baggie, something, so that way we know where it's going. Okay? And the reason why we have it where you can put it in here, so that way it doesn't fall out. Because a lot of kids, from experience, they will put the binders upside down in their backpacks, or they will just throw them around somewhere, and then their stuff falls out. So we love having this, so that way it is easy for you and the students to keep up with the money, with the notes, whatever it is, excuses, anything that's needed to go to the office or to us. Also, we have a calendar that we will have every month, and it gives your tentative days on it, your events. It has their conduct. We will give them their stickers and smiley faces and write their conduct on these, which is another reason that is very important to check these daily, because that way you can keep up. Because I know a lot of parents, you don't want to get on to your kids if you notice that they got in trouble 2 days before. Okay, be sure to look at it every day so you can see what's going on. And we do write positive notes on this too. It's not all negative. We will write positive things with the kids, so it's not going to be all negative.
We try to put testing dates.
Yes,
And things they're going on that as a parent you'll want to know about.
yes, there will be test dates on there. There will be events coming up. So pretty much anything and everything you need to know will be on here, their conduct and everything. And like I said, just make sure everything is labeled, so that way we know where it's going. Anything else you guys want to add?
It should be checked every day. I think you
Checked,
said that.
yes.
And just initial. You don't.
Yes,
your
just
initial
an
tells us that.
initial, just so that we know that you checked it. That's all we need. We don't need anything, a note back or anything like that. But if you see something on there and you have questions about it, send us a remind about it, or you can send us a note that next day, put it in here, and we can look at it and get back with you on whatever is going on.
And some of the things that are in the sheet protectors will be in there for the day. We try to put
Yes.
things, this will also have your homework sheets in them that I think somebody's gonna go over in just a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But always look through there and see, some of that stuff will stay for the year. Some of it will change out frequently.
Yes.
So nothing comes out of it. They should never take anything out
Well,
of the.
there-
If the binder gets dirty, the parents need to feel free to buy a new binder
Yes, please.
and move all the papers and
Mhm.
material into the new binder. But that was one issue I think I had last year, is some of the binders were
Me
falling
too.
apart and they were really dirty. And I don't know, I think the parents maybe felt like they didn't need to
Mhm.
touch anything in the binder, but please replace the binders when they
Yes.
get dirty. Or
And just swap that stuff over. into
Yes,
it.
just do
put it in
that. Yes.
And the binder that's gonna be used is one that you had on your supply list.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll fix it for you to start with, and then just be looking at something that comes home every day.
Yes, and there will be a lot of important information in there for you guys to check, because it's important to check, because we'll send things home too in here. It's not going to be just the conduct that's sent home or anything, but I mean homework, any kind of papers that need to go home that day, anything that's given to us throughout the day that we need to send home is going to be in this binder. So make sure that you go through it every day and look and make sure there's nothing new, nothing that needs to be filled out and sent back.
All right, Miss Roy, you want to talk about discipline?
Okay, so each teacher has their own discipline. Like some of them move clothespins, cards. So each teacher is different on that. But we really try to focus on positive, doing things like caught being a hornet, treasure box, treat basket, stickers, stamps. So we really try to point out and focus on positive behavior instead of negative behavior. But if anything does happen, it will be on the conduct sheet. One thing, we will never, ever take away a child's snack or food. So that is definitely not going to be used in first grade as a punishment. It's very important children have a snack every day. Eating lunch early in the morning, by the middle of the day, they're hungry. So they really need to have a snack every day, and that is not a form of discipline used in first grade. We do like popcorn parties. We earn rewards individually, but also as a whole class. So we're going to do everything we can to not focus on negative, but focus on positive.
And I know when I'm hungry, I don't learn well.
No.
So that is very important. I think one thing too is they do not need soft drinks.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be something, and some parents send a big huge snack and let their children choose what they want. Please just send one snack and one drink. Pre-Suns, a small water, Kool-Aid jammers, whatever. Those work well, because if they have a lot, they're not gonna have time to eat that.
And it causes problems too, with some
Yes.
kids want what they have and then they try to share it, but then it just becomes a
Yes, and we have
A really
allergies,
big
so we can't
problem,
really
yeah.
share
mm-hmm.
those kinds of things, because we have to make sure that a student's not allergic to
Yes.
anything. And I guess we could go ahead too and say, if your child is allergic to something, let your teacher know. We'll go
Yes.
over a way to get in touch with your teacher at the end, but that would be a good, so that we know when we have those group parties or snacks or things that
Yes.
we're not giving your child something that they're not, that could be dangerous to them.
Right, so transportation changes, Miss Roy?
All right, so transportation needs to, if you have a departure change for the day, you're gonna put that in your pouch. And it's very important that you send that in writing, because it goes to the office, and the office is gonna check for allergies. And so if a child is going from a car rider to bus rider, when the bus rider gets the note, it's highlighted red if they have an allergy, so the bus driver knows issues and things. Please do not text a teacher or email a teacher a departure change, because we may be at the doctor that day. And I know email, I don't usually check my email till afternoon. So, it's very, very important that all departure changes are sent in the binder the day of. You can call the office, but I know they did have some rules about it had to be by a certain time.
Yeah, it's
Because
before.
it's a safety concern.
Yes,
Yeah.
I forget the exact time, but it's before a certain time. They rather you not have changes that day or that afternoon, but yeah, definitely before. I can't remember. I want to say 2:00, but it may have even been earlier than that.
Because we understand that emergencies are gonna happen, we all have those. But getting your kids home safely is like our most stressful thing, because we
Yes.
wanna make sure, and little ones, when there's a change, and it's not, I mean, they may say, my mom mentioned to me this morning that I was gonna be a bus rider, but if we don't have it in writing.
Yeah.
Or if they mentioned to me that I was gonna ride, that they were gonna pick me up today, we have to put them on the bus if they're normally a bus rider. So you need to make sure, and if you send any kind of notes, make sure it has their first and last name, because if you just say Crystal, there may be 4 Crystals
Yeah.
in the school, make sure you have first and last name and their teacher too, makes it very helpful.
And the date is helpful too.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes if the parent sends a note and the note's for 2 days, you need those dates on the note.
Miss Haynes.
Okay, well, I'll talk about, our homework. You're gonna get, a reading, homework page and a math and language homework. This is, very important that you go over with your child. They have to be able to read the words within 3 seconds on the sight words. We're gonna be changing, a little bit of our phonics this, year, but right now we'll have some spelling words that they will have a spelling test, and unless things change. We'll have the skill of the week, and, very important, there's a passage on the back. By a certain time in first grade, children need to be reading a certain amount of words, and so this is a practice sheet that they can go over, and it won't be a cold read, and a cold read is, whenever they're seeing the passage for the first time. This won't be a cold read that we get, a grade from, but it'll give them good practice for their cold reads, because we want them to be fluent and automatic with their words, so they'll be better readers. This is the, math portion that's got days up here. You can do it by those days, or you can do it all at once. But, for me, I wanna make sure that my kids are doing it at least during the week. And so if I see that they're having trouble, maybe I can help them out with it. And I like for it to be in the folder. How about y'all? I mean,
Yes.
because a lot of times if it's taken out, then, you know, we don't know if the kids have just
Yes.
thrown it away or what's going on. So if you would just leave this in the folder too, and, you know, we can see how far you're coming along, and, you know, hey, maybe, you know, I can help you out with this. We will go over how to do the homework with them at first, and so they will know how we want it filled out, so it won't be something that you just have to figure out yourself. We'll do it with them to begin with. Anything else y'all wanna add?
What day does it come back?
On, Tuesday, I'm gonna come back on Tuesday.
If we're a full
Yeah.
week.
It'll depend.
And that'll,
on-
all
It'll
kind of be, go
Yeah.
from the reminds, that goes back to the reminds, if there's a change or something.
And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And usually when the kid brings them back, they get something from the treat box or something from, the treasure box for doing the work too. So it's a positive for them to do it and to bring it back on the day that it's turned in.
And the fluency passage is a first grade passage. So they should be able to read the passage. If they're not able to read the passage, then we need extra study time. Because all of the passages are, first grade passages.
And they go with the phonics skill, so if we're
Yes.
working on words that have a long A, there's gonna be lots of long A words in there for that week to get them that extra practice of looking for those words.
And y'all can write on these too. As parents, you can write on these. You know, if there's some notes that you want to make, like maybe you're going through the sight words or spelling words and you notice that your child isn't getting one, or they got some of them, like, make note of that. So also when we look at it, we can see that, and then it will help you remind yourself when you go back to study it as well.
And then some of the wording on this is a little confusing. And so, I know I had a couple of parents, text me last year and say, what does this mean?
Yes.
And so, you know, that definitely, we will be glad to help you out on that. But it's very important that they do it, and if you do it the way that it's listed on here, just one night at a time, it's not gonna be a whole lot, because they don't need to be spending a whole lot of time on
Yes.
homework. So, if you're spending a lot of time, then we need to talk.
All right. Miss Evans and I are going to talk about assessments.
Blount County uses the program Benchmark Reading. That's the one that we've adopted for our ELA, which is English Language Arts. The benchmark is designed to last 3 weeks. So like we'll have the same comprehension skill for 3 weeks. So if main idea is what we're working on, we're not just going to be working on it for a week, we're going to be working on it for 3 weeks while we're reading. The spelling words, however, will change each week. The phonics skill, the grammar, what we're working on, and that's all going to be on this sheet that Miss Haynes sent home. So you won't have to just think, oh my gosh, what are they working on this week? So when we go over, can I borrow this, Miss Haynes? Like a comprehension skill, like this one comes from Unit 2 and it says analyze character. Well, you're not going to be able to just tell your child, what do you do to analyze a character? Okay. So it's going to give you some ideas. So maybe just in something that you're reading, like if you do a book with your kids at night or something that you're reading, you may it kind of gives you, it says understanding characters in a story through their actions, thoughts, and feelings. So like if I were reading a Bible story, you know, what can we tell about David by what we were reading? You know, David was throwing a rock and he went up against a big giant. What can we tell about him? They might say he was brave. Because I don't think I would want to do that if I was really little and go and fight a giant with just a rock. So just things like that. General conversation, not a quiz and skill and kill type thing. Now the spelling words, the sight word phrases, that's what their sight words are. They need to be able to read those. That's the way that it'll be assessed. It won't, you know, sight words most of the time are words that don't need to be sounded out. And we're going through some learning as teachers. We've been doing some this summer and things like that, that if our brains have to work really, really hard to sound out every single word, including like sight words, then it's really hurting us when we do get to those words that we need to sound out, and children are kind of just giving up. So those sight words are words that we want to recognize by sight. Ms. McKay, is there anything else you want to say about that?
It's a little confusing because, like Miss Evans said, for 3 weeks we're going to do the comprehension skill, but you will have new spelling words, new sight words, and a new phonics skill every week.
Yes.
So even though the unit is 3 weeks long, you actually will have different spelling words 3 different times during that unit. You'll have 3 different sets of sight words and 3 different phonics skills. So that gets a little confusing sometimes, but the comprehension skill stays the same for 3 weeks.
But it will be on.
It'll be on here.
It'll be on that sheet. So I know this probably all sounds overwhelming and confusing right now, but it will be on that sheet. It'll be in that daily binder every week. Envision is a new math program that we're using. We're really excited about it, but we're learning it. So you'll have to be patient with us because we just got it. The most important thing that I want parents to realize, and that I've had to change my thinking, especially I taught 5th grade for many years before coming down to 1st grade, is that assessments don't always just mean test. In 1st grade, we use lots of different actual tests, like Heggerty, the benchmark. We use spelling tests. We have fluency passages. We do some different math assessments. You'll see things come home that's ESGI, where we've had kids come up and do, and we can print off the computer for you. But there's lots of things like that are called informal assessments. If I'm sitting here and Miss Roy is reading with me one-on-one, and I notice that she's missing lots of words that end with the ED, then that's something I'm gonna pull because maybe Miss Hallmark's not missing those same things. Well, Miss Hallmark doesn't need an individual lesson on those. But Miss Roy and I are gonna work together, maybe if I have 2 or 3 minutes later on during the day, and I'm gonna pull, because it may be just something that that one child doesn't notice that they're missing, and when you point it out, that they can focus on. So by reviewing a lot of our kids' writing and reading one-on-one with them, we can intervene as early as possible so that these things don't become habit, and we can best help our children's. We want to celebrate
Be working on
successes.
grammar, too.
Yes, we're gonna be working on them grammar skills. We love to celebrate first grade, and it will make me tear up even talking about it, but some kids work so hard to get those sight words, where another child is working so hard to get their letter sounds for right then. Another child is working hard and they're already reading. And we don't want any of our children to feel like, because I'm not reading at the same pace or at the same level. So what might be a small step for one child, we're gonna celebrate that,
Yeah.
where another child's success is gonna be something different. And that's what those informal assessments are gonna allow us to do. And we encourage that in our classrooms too, where our kids get excited for each other.
Yeah.
They get
Yeah,
excited
they do.
to celebrate
Mhm.
the smallest of successes to the biggest successes. And we're gonna do that in the classrooms, all of us are. Anything else?
Well, it kind of made me think
And I'm gonna turn
of why
everything
coming to school is so important. Just like Miss Evans said, we need your children here so
Yes.
that we can do those informal assessments and make sure that we're intervening when we need to. So please make sure your children come to school
And on time.
and on time. Yeah. Okay, Miss Haynes, parent volunteers.
Okay, parent volunteers, you know, have always been very, very important to us, especially, I think, in the lower grades. At this time, we're trying to limit the number that are able to come in because of the virus. When this is under control, there are a lot of ways that you can come in and help. You can come in by copy reading with our students, helping out with the math stations, helping us out with some short little quick assessments. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that you can do. But also, there might be some special skill that you have that doesn't require you to come in. Like you may have access to a lot of copies at your business that, you know, they don't care if you use their machines. And that has been very helpful to a lot of us because there is a lot of things that have to be copied, and also things that are cut out. So we'll be sending home some sheets and asking you, you know, what ways that you can help. And hopefully this will be short-lived and we'll be able to have you come into the classroom, because I know I love volunteers. I need an extra set of hands, and so as soon as we can let you come in, we will definitely get in touch with you. Anything helps. I know that you're really good with volunteers, so.
If you work for a business that needs a tax write-off and they want to donate to a classroom, all of us have things that we could use in our classrooms, especially trying to do some flexible seating and stuff so that we can spread our kids out, you know, some of the little floor desks and things like that, that maybe they just want to buy one. Or, you know, if you are interested in doing that, please get in touch with your child's teacher and let them know. We always love parent volunteers because we love to let the parents share and things like that and do read alouds. So hopefully when this all blows over, we can get back to that for sure. Because the kids love for you to come at this age and enjoy it, because eventually they're going to get to where they don't want you to be there.
That made me think of too, we welcome supplies always as well. Because we go through a lot of copy paper, we go through a lot of Lysol wipes, Kleenexes. So we always welcome, and we will get in touch with you as well if we're running low on something. Just please be willing to help us out with that also.
Okay, so we promise you we are as excited and nervous about this year as you are. We're, you know, parents or we're parents to these children, so while we're in here, we always tell our kids when they're here, we're your school mamas.
Yes.
And so we worry about them, and so I promise you that Blount County and Locust Fork Elementary, and specifically, you know, what we know that we're doing in our classrooms to keep your children safe, we're gonna do as much as we possibly can. And there's gonna be lots of things changed throughout this year. We don't know, we can't foresee those things. But one thing that won't change, and I've worked with this group for several years, and I know that we each love our students like they were our own, and that's not something that's going to change. We are excited. We have not enjoyed being at home, and we have not enjoyed, and we have enjoyed some of that, but we have not enjoyed not being with our kids, and we're
Yes.
more excited, I think, about this year, about having kids back in our classrooms and being able to teach them. We've missed those smiling faces. So we just ask that you be patient with us, and be patient with the format. You know, this is not something that any of us have done before, just as you as a parent have not done before. We have missed being with these kiddos, and we hope that this year goes smoothly. Please, we encourage communication, and I will get our camera lady to zoom in just a second. In your packets that you picked up from the school, if you've already gotten your packets, you should have each one of the teacher email addresses. But here is also the email addresses. And I ask that you go ahead and email your teacher as soon as you watch this, and just put your child's name in the subject line. Let us know how your child will be getting home the first day of school. Anything special that you want us to know about your child that may help us. We like to get to know our kids. If we know a special interest sometimes that they have, it helps us to make conversation, make things a little less business-like, especially the first couple of days of school. You know, if they love unicorns, if they love to play outside, if you know something that's their favorite. I love donuts. All my kids will know that. They know not Daylight Donuts, not Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts. So just something fun, or something if your kids is really anxious about something. That's something, it's a good time to, something that's been going on at home that you just want your teacher to know, because that's going to affect the way they learn at school. And that's something that we need to know. If you have any questions between now and then, email those, but please go ahead and use those email addresses just to get in touch with your teacher, since we're not getting to do Meet the Teacher, and that way we at least have that one communication that we can save that email address to have for the year. Do you girls have anything else? We are really excited about this year. We'd
We
like to
love
thank
first
our
grade.
camera lady here, who is another first grade teacher at a different county school, and she just got roped into doing this. And we are excited to see your
grade
children
crews.
on August the
13th. August 13th.
It's a Thursday.
yes, it's a
Yes,
Thursday.
it's a Thursday.
And hope you have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.